tap of her phone. No card? No problem. Life, lived Serena's way. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Just like that.
So Vinnie Miller in the 0-1 and Spencer Boyd in the 76 bring out. So Vinnie Miller in the 0-1. So Vinnie Miller in the 0-1 and Spencer Boyd in the 76 bring out. So Vinnie Miller in the 0-1 and Spencer Boyd in the 76 bring out. So Vinnie Miller in the 0-1 and Spencer Boyd in the 76 bring out. Toyota, let's go places. And by Shell Rotella, the engine oil that works as hard as you. You're watching Xfinity Series racing from Bristol. It's the Food City 300 under the third caution of the night, and still 63 laps to go in stage 2. Just under 200 laps remaining in the race. Christopher Bell had been battling up there in the top 5, dropped out to 6th now. Parker.
Well, guys, under the last caution, there was some odd radio traffic between the 42 of Kyle Larson and his crew, and take a listen to what he had to say here, or couldn't say.
As long as you can hear us, everything will be fine.
And that is the issue. They can't hear him. They were able to find a couple times where they could hear each other, where he was able to switch radios, then switch channels, then turn off his air conditioner. They went through all different things and then basically said, okay, we've given up. We can't hear you. And now another thing to remember, on the last pit stop, he asked for no changes. He said the car was perfect. So one thing to listen to here is if he can't tell them what he needs in that car, they won't have any idea of what the trend was even at the beginning of this race. So things could go awry if the track really changes a lot for the 42.
It's really frustrating as a driver not being able to communicate to your team. But at least there is one-way communication. They'll either come up with some hand signals or whatever to do what they need to do to understand what they need to from Kyle. And the car is actually pretty good. So hopefully the car's handling well all night long and there's not a lot of adjustments needed. But that is, as a driver, that ramps up the anxiety a little bit, not being able to communicate like you want. Having that freedom, you take it for granted until it's not there anymore.
I have a feeling the crew chiefs like it when they can't hear us.
Yeah.
Not Matt.
What's
Mike
the old school? The door is tight, the roof's loose.
Yeah,
So you come down the front stretch, hand out the window, beating on the door if you're tight, the roof if you're loose.
I was the other way around. Top, tight.
Well,
Because there's 2 T's.
well,
Top, tight.
Well, let me just tell you, that miscommunication between you and I would be bad for your adjustment.
Wouldn't go so
And you
well
wouldn't have
for
to hear me
you.
complain about it, so it'd work out.
No.
Kelly.
Joey Logano running in that second spot. They felt like the 7 of Justin Allgaier was catching him at points, so he had a conversation with TJ Major about the line Justin Allgaier's running.
Pulling down board of me. Same line on entry, but he was carrying less speed at the 40% mark and letting it turn just a little bit earlier and running about a half car length lower than you. The whole corner was just a little bit lower than you after the 40% mark.
So in essence, that part TJ's telling Joey that the 7 was running more at like 8/10 speed than 10/10 speed at points, which was helping him around the track.
that indication of the 4/10 mark, that's essentially just before the center of the corner. So the spotter's trying to break that corner down into tenths of a section, so to really tell Joey where that was, and that's how much information these drivers can use, Kelly.
Sorry, when we saw the 19 there, Brandon Jones, he took the opportunity to come down pit road. Remember, we saw that contact between him and the 21. Well, he had a little bit of damage and thought the toe got knocked out of the front. I think they took this opportunity to do a little more work, Dave.
Hey, guys, is Bristol a place where you could have a car that you really, really don't feel good about and you get really good lap times anyway? Drivers, what do you think? Bristol, that kind of place?
Yeah, I mean, anywhere, but yes, for sure, in a short track.
So that is Allgaier's situation. He said earlier, I'm not sure if the word frustrating even begins to describe this race. He said it was bad in practice. We've got something going on. He's running third.
Yeah, even the guy leading the race has got something he would like improved about his car. Nobody is ever really completely satisfied. Always trying to improve your car, make your car faster if you lead the race, because you know everybody behind you is doing the same thing. Sometimes you will have cars that are fast, don't drive well.
And so they're still heading around the racetrack. Now, a lot of times what ends up happening here, and we saw this earlier, they have to be in order before they'll open pit road so that people can come to pit road in the position that they're supposed to be in. So pit road now is open. They are feeling that everyone is in the proper order on the racetrack, but a lot of times you drivers fight for every single position, even when maybe it's not deserved. You'll run beside another guy thinking that you got that spot. But then up above, they'll have to tell you different. Marty.
Hey, Rick, the drivers beside you will tell you, Warren Buben, Knight, and Bristol, you want a little AC inside the car. Daniel Hemrick came on the radio under this caution and said, I don't know what happened, but in the middle of all this chaos, I've lost my helmet hose, which means he has no AC. Danny Stockman said, did you find it? He said, nah, I'll be all good for the rest of the night.
Better helmet than me. With those closed helmets, Junior, it's just crazy how hot it gets. And without that helmet hose, there's nothing you can do about it, so you may as well just laugh it off and tough it out. But it is not fun without that helmet hose.
We talked about these drivers fighting for positions and arguing positions on the racetrack. When the restarts are so line sensitive, guys in the back will refuse to start on the inside or be an odd number, because you're going to lose positions, especially third row, fourth row, fifth row. You're going to lose spots on this restart on that inside. So,
all right, we're going to give you a perspective from the Colossus. That's the big screen in the middle of the stadium here, right in the middle of Bristol.
Well, it's a good start by the inside line. This is the first time they've had a decent start.
Three wide for the lead. Here comes Allgaier.
Wow. I'm surprised that Logano lifted so hard there.
Larson.
We've seen Allgaier on the restarts week after week after week, especially last week in Ohio. Take advantage of those restarts to gain positions, be aggressive.
Larson up front, Allgaier running second. Hemrick third. Then the 20 of Christopher Bell is fourth. It's spread out a bit now, side-by-side racing. Chase Elliott in the 23 on the inside of Ty Dillon.
Logano, who restarted on the inside of the front row back in fifth. There's Chase Elliott working that bottom. It's a great car. He's been moving up all night. It's hard as you get toward the front, especially these guys have figured out this outside line. It's even harder to make the pass without moving them out of the way somehow.
And look who's crept in behind him. Cole Custer. He was the first to get ready to go a lap down before that caution with Kyle Busch, and here he is battling for eighth.
Everybody running the top now. All the way back outside the top 10. Whole field strung around the top of the racetrack.
And once again, a freight train building up high. As they go down the front stretch and back stretch, there is a little side-by-side racing right here between Bell and Hemrick.
Bell's going to make the position here. He's going to clear him easily. So that bottom groove still is an option if you come up on a car, and you can use that bottom to get by.
Larson, Allgaier, Bell, Hemrick, Logano, Ty Dillon, Chase Elliott, Cole Custer, Matt Tipp, and Elliott Sadler, the top 10. Now you see the dark groove up high around this racetrack, and everyone trying to find that rubber and grip here at Bristol.
Larson's running right on the edge of it. A lot of these guys are maybe, 2, 3, even 4 feet lower. And I just got to feel like that Larson's line is going to produce more speed.
Logano using the bottom of the track easily by Hemrick.
I think Hemrick's had a little trouble with that damage, Steve. I think you're right about it, taking a little bit of the aerodynamics off the nose, especially the particularly sensitive area, the left front fender. And you're going to feel that more on older tires. Those brand new tires, maybe they overcame the grip, but right there you see the back wiggle. But that could be a case of the front not working, right? You get some front wheel in it, and then the front kind of catches, and you see it continue to battle as the 3 goes by. Now the 23 of Chase Elliott's going to look to the bottom. One more set of corners. He's going to try to clear him. Surely that bottom is harder on the tires as you try to work off the corner right here.
Chase Elliott can't clear the 21 of Hemrick yet. He's going to keep working the bottom. He'll get in front of him now, slide right in front of him. It is very loud down in the middle of Thunder Valley, isn't it, Marty?
It is very loud, and I am in the exit of turn 4, and this would be on top of our Peacock pit box, and you can hear how loud it is. Steve, I don't know how you as a crew chief communicating with your crew on top of the box, and I'm holding my mic as close as I can, but I'm going to move it just a couple of inches away to show you how loud it is. If I do this, I can hear it at all. It's only like 2 inches, so obviously very loud. Can't even hear me when my mic is 2 inches away. I'm sure this pit stall, and Austin Sigurt's pit is right here, by the way. I'm sure these pit stalls on the exit of turn 4, very difficult, and it shows, Steve, how tough it is as a crew chief to communicate with your driver when you're sitting here on top of the pit box.
Sorry, we must have had some technical difficulty. I couldn't hear Marty at all there, so maybe his microphone wasn't working.
Well, so we would set it up with the engineer where we would actually have little keyboards and like a chat and a window that was open, but sticky notes. That was the easiest way. The tire guy would come up, you'd write on the sticky note, hand it down to him. It was actually so loud that when I was Dale's crew chief, I would use the earbud under my headset, in my ear, that was plugged directly into his radio with all the other voices in my headset, NASCAR, scanner. That was the only way I could make sure I always heard my drivers. I had to have an earbud actually underneath my headset.
140 decibel is what has been recorded here inside of Bristol Motor Speedway. That is the equivalent of a jet engine at about 100 feet.
See, Rick, now you know why. I'm not ignoring you. I just can't hear you sometimes. A lot of years.
Totally understand.
What?
Exactly. Burton knows all too well also. Larson out front. Christopher Bell running second.
It's simple. People count on you, and you count on your truck. So we built you the most capable line of Ram trucks yet. The all-new Ram 1500 delivers best-in-class V8 towing. The Ram 2500 has best-in-class gas towing. And the Ram 3500 gives you best-in-class fifth-wheel towing. That's why more people are switching to Ram than ever before.
Now get an average $9,433 in total values on the all-new 2019 Ram 1500.
I relate to the berries in these real fruit berry shakes because they're small but powerful. I relate to the ice cream because it's rich and has an amazing singing voice. Got it. Oh.
Real ice cream and berries. New real fruit berry shakes. Get them half price after 8 p.m. for a limited time.
We know that growing up means passing it down. We know that hunting actually helps our nation's wildlife grow stronger. We know that this isn't just what we do, it's who we are. We know the great outdoors, we love the great outdoors. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's bring you the Fall Hunting Classic with great deals like savings of 35% on Scentlock Savannah Crosshair jackets and pants, and save $20 on a 6-pack of Bigfoot V2 full-body goose decoys.
Where's Frank? It's league night.
Save money on motorcycle insurance with Geico going up the country, ball without me. Frank.
I'm going to get nachos.
Snack bar's closed.
Yeah!
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
I relate to the berries in these real fruit berry shakes because they're small but powerful. I relate to the ice cream because it's rich and has an amazing singing voice. Got it.
Real ice cream and berries. New Real Fruit Berry Shakes. Get them half price after 8 p.m. for a limited time.
The first race in the NASCAR playoffs is at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Who's all in? When the green flag drops on the inaugural South Point 400, the record-breaking Speed Fest starts on the dirt and speeds through the top 3 series. Family price tickets are going fast, with kids only $10 on Sunday. Get them now at lvms.com.
Under caution once again, Xfinity Series Racing from Bristol. This telecast presented by Shell Rotella. And you see the damage to the front end of the 60. So Chase Briscoe.
Let's see how it happened here. Coming off of turn 4. On the inside of Chastain. Just gets in the door of the Chastain and you know, we see that over and over here, Jeff.
Here more than anywhere else, you see a guy's right front fender hit a guy in the door, and it just turns you around, getting in the corner on corner exit, more at this racetrack than any other racetrack we've seen.
90% of the time, you're going to hit something. That's pretty much going to end his race. He stood in the gas, which drives the car down the racetrack into the inside wall a little sooner. It's hard to avoid hitting the walls in that situation, but throttling up is going to put you into the inside wall a little quicker there.
And so they're going to go to work on the 60. They'll be on the damaged vehicle.
I think it's hard for the drivers to drive the 60 car. They have, so many drivers that drive it. I think it's hard for them to get into a rhythm.
Fortunate for Briscoe, but a big break for the 21 of Hemrick guys. We've been watching that damage, that questionable whether it was an issue or not, but it seemed like it has grown. I mean, that hole there wasn't quite that big. It looks like it's finally blown in and broken that composite body, where that's definitely something they're going to want to repair. We even saw a little bit of smoke out of that tire a few laps.
Steve, I mentioned the damaged vehicle clock that the 60's on. Give us kind of the breakdown of what they can do there and how much time they have.
So basically we have 6 minutes, Rick, and if you have any penalties on pit road, there are time penalties, 15 or 30 seconds, depending on what the penalty is. If you're in any sort of incident, it's hard to define, but basically any damage that's happened, whether you hit another car, hit the wall, NASCAR puts you on the DVP. If you go behind the wall, your day's over. If you spend more than 6 minutes on pit road, this entire caution, or until you get back to minimum speed, your day is also over. So your repair kind of has to change, right? Right now, they're not trying to fix everything. Maybe just get it all cut away so you can go out, make minimum speed, continue to work on it throughout the night.
And Steve, with Daniel Hemrick, he's not only damaged because he met minimum speed after the contact, so he has no time limit he has to deal with.
It's a good policy. Listen, no one really comes to watch wrecked race cars go around the racetrack. And the idea is 6 minutes is a long time. If you have more than 6 minutes, then your day's over. You also can't add pieces anymore. You used to be able to add parts, and eventually those are the parts that would blow off onto the racetrack and affect other people's day. So I expect to see the 21 pit here, but no, pit rate's open. Stayed out. I don't know if I completely buy into that one. Man, that thing was rubbing a few times. I mean, I'm not sure they can make it a lot better, but worried about rubbing a tire. Only 25 to go until the stage. I would think now's the time you would fix it.
And they're inside of the fuel window.
Yeah.
For the end of the race, 155 laps to go. They can go over 165 laps.
That's a tough decision for crew chiefs. You have it time and time again. Dave, we see the one on pit road.
Yep, he's given up 10th position, Steve, for tires, fuel, and an adjustment. Really wasn't happy with his race car. It was tight rolling to the center and free off. That's been the case most of the night for Elliott Sadler.
Elliott Sadler will come off of pit road. Kyle Larson still up front at Bristol.
Can world-renowned artist Red Hongyu use the Chase mobile app to pay practically anyone at any bank? Yes, but this isn't just for anyone. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Welcome.
Hi there.
So what do you look for in a vehicle?
Sleek designs.
Performance.
Dependability is top on my list.
Well, then here's some vehicles that deliver on that.
Whoa.
Oh, Oh, geez.
That's our truck.
It's our truck.
And they're our cars.
That's my Chevy.
Chevy's the only brand to have earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs 3 years in a row.
Awesome. I'm proud.
Oh, it's like a dynasty. It's impressive.
I'm Emma. I'm Claire. And we're the Salmon Sisters. We run our business from the boat. It's a really small space. This new surface goes the perfect size. I love having something that I can hold in my hand. We're proud of this way of life. We're proud of the work we're doing.
Go, baby, go, go.
It's back. Clear the Shelters. The annual nationwide Pet Adoption Day is this Saturday, August 18th. Help an animal in need jump for joy again. Go to cleartheshelters.com to find a participating shelter near you.
Points leader Scott Dixon and the Verizon IndyCar Series will return to action this weekend at Pocono Raceway. That race coverage is live Sunday on NBCSN at 2 p.m. Eastern. Scott Dixon was on NASCAR America on Thursday. Very entertaining.
Yeah, Rick, the 60 of Chase Briscoe, their night's done. Could not get the car fixed in time. See him out of the car.
Fields lined up for a double file restart. Rolling into turn 3. Waiting on that pace car to drop off. Christopher Bell. Kyle Larson is the control car on the outside.
This time Logano's on the outside. The last restart he was on the bottom. He gave up a bunch of spots. Allgaier again driving through the middle.
He tried to go through the center to get around the outside of Christopher Bell, but Christopher Bell had a great corner. He's holding speed with Larson.
Oh, that's close. That's pushing it.
It is. I'd say Logano cut him a break there.
Yeah, Logano will remember that. He'll expect a break back, or the next time there'll be no lift.
Get one break, maybe. Christopher Bell really putting the pressure on Larson here. Very surprising. We haven't seen anybody had any speed really for Larson up to this point, but Christopher Bell's there. Running a little bit lower line. Making that work. Larson fighting for grip. Doesn't have the lateral grip, the rear grip that he had before maybe. Waiting on his car to come in. You can see him getting the throttle there and make a little time.
That's what Bell wants to do. He wants to get as close as he can to him because, even though it's Bristol half mile, still air can make a difference if he can get to that left rear quarter panel, try to pull a little air off that spoiler and try to get him loose. And Bell really doesn't have much choice. You almost have to run a little lower than the guy in front of you.
That or just a little higher, and if Larson's right up on the fence, can't do that.
That wouldn't be good.
But you can see the difference with Larson running a little higher. He right there, that little bit of a gain in the center of the corner is what running that little bit higher line helps.
And the exit, watch what happens on the exit. So right there he gets a little speed, but right here it helps him accelerate. See him gain gap down the straights. That's just not pinching the car off on corner exit.
Now that bottom line, that lower line does work. I think Kevin Harvick drives a little shallow on entry, and he really makes that work well. Sets his car up to do a lot of turning in the center of the corner, and he doesn't give up this time on exit. But Christopher Bell sees this. He may make some adjustments as he sees himself losing time to Larson.
And the other side of that, too, you have to remember that, we saw Kyle Busch up there where Larson is and actually hit the wall, jumped over the rubber and got into the wall. So
is it worth the risk?
Exactly. With, that 158 just past halfway, is it worth the risk at this point?
That's a good point. I mean, Larson's a guy that has nothing to lose. He can put that thing right on the edge all night long. Christopher Bell's racing for points, racing for playoff points. Can't afford to put his car in the fence early and give up the opportunity to get those points later on.
I mean, one little mistake by 6 inches with Larson, and he's in the wall. He does the same thing that Kyle Busch did, and right in front of him, right in front of him.
Middle.
Benny Miller had an accident earlier tonight.
We talked about that at the start. You can be leading this race doing nothing wrong, and something happens in front of you.
Yeah, that's great wreck avoidance by the drivers. Heads up from the spotters. Keep them out of trouble there, because that was definitely right in front of those guys.
So now 10 to go at the end of this stage.
Let's see how Vinny got turned around. He's all by himself. Just.
And look at the leaders right here. They're kind of committed to running the top. They had to get really slowed down to look right here. Caution, caution. God, it happens quick. Good job. Look at this view.
Back it down, get middle.
That's the thing. At most racetracks, being out front's the safest place to be, but at a place like Bristol, even the leaders are at risk all night long to get swept up in an accident.
So, Steve, what are these guys going to do right here with 9 to go?
Well, I think you're going to see a few guys at the front stay out for points, but most of the field, I believe, is going to be on pit road. Get that set of tires before the end of the stage. You see all guys on the racetrack for points, but pit road is getting busy.
Christopher Bell pits from second position. He will take on 4 Goodyear tires in Sunoco fuel. Told his crew chief, I just need a quarter number of turn in the center of the corner. And also, he feels like he's better than Kyle Larson because Larson's using a lot of racetrack. Confident he gets a final adjustment on the 20.
And Dave, expect these guys to stay out, obviously, when the stage comes in a moment. Only 9 laps left here in stage number 2. Daniel Hemrick's team not too worried about that left front damage that we have been talking about. Said he's too free on exit. They're going to pull that away and make a track bar adjustment for a loose car, Kelly.
The 3-car Ty Dillon also in. He said he was really starting to gain grip, and as a result, that 3-car was just getting a little bit tighter and tighter. He's been using the brake fan to help. 4 tires in Sunoco fuel, and you see the 22 there. Joey Logano was a little bit tight through the center and loose off, but not bad on the 22.
And so a few guys have taken the opportunity to be on pit road and take fuel. Now they would be inside their fuel window if they want to stay out for the remainder of this race. They can go the remainder of this race without having to come back down on pit road for fuel. But I look at the guy out front, Kyle Larson. He's finished second 3 times at this racetrack, and he's never won. So the guy he finished second to, do you know who won those races?
I think he's in his motorhome.
He is. He's watching this broadcast right now, and he doesn't like that at all.
Yeah, Kyle Busch has definitely seemed to have his number here at Bristol, always finding a way to beat him in those closing laps, whether it's a restart or whatever it may be. Now with Kyle Busch out, Kyle Larson has to be the favorite. But this is Bristol. Anything can happen. We saw how narrowly they had to avoid that last incident with the 0-1. So nothing is guaranteed with still just under half the race left to go. We're closing on the end of stage 2. You mentioned a little strategy. It's going to be interesting to see how quickly Larson can get by the guys that chose to stay out.
Things happen so quickly here, Jeff Jr. We have seen some incredible things out of these drivers. They're running right up against the wall, and just inches, you say, could make the difference between winning this race and being wrecked out.
Yeah, I'm just really surprised by how the strategy just changed. We saw Larson stay out, Christopher Bell come down pit road. Christopher had a great opportunity just a few laps ago to be behind Larson and understand exactly what else he needs from his car, what kind of adjustments he needs from his car to make it a little bit better. We thought these guys were going to have to contend against Kyle Busch tonight. Well, Kyle's out of the race, and now it's Kyle Larson that Christopher Bell will have to beat.
And so Larson's got one of 2 things coming. He's either got new tires coming from behind, or he's going to have to pit and get behind those new tires. So one way or another, this is going to get really interesting.
Yeah, Joe Logano, he's got to go to the back. He had an uncontrolled tire penalty, so that's more drama for that team.
And getting ready for the restart, laps winding down. There will be 5 laps of racing to go to end stage 2. On the outside, the 42, Kyle Larson. On the inside, Justin Allgaier in the 7. Allgaier using that inside line, trying to get by the 42.
This is the time we've seen that Larson's not quite as good on restarts. Once they go for a little while, Larson gets better. So if you're going to take the fight to him, you better do it now.
Allgaier's fighting for a regular season championship, too. That's more playoffs. He and Christopher Bell fighting right now, 1 and 2 on the points.
Great battle here behind these guys. Chase Elliott in 3rd. Ryan Truex, Elliott Sadler, Reddick, Brandon Jones with a good, nice recovery. Up in the 7th position.
Just Bill on those tires trying to get himself back up there.
There you see the 5 and net. He's battling, trying to make his way into that playoffs. An opportunity to get some points here.
Less than 2 laps coming up on the white flag for stage 2. Kyle Larson staying right up against the wall. Justin Allgaier running that low line.
That low line seems to work real nice in 1 and 2. Does not work as well in 3 and 4.
Out of turn 4, Kyle Larson wins stage 2. Bell able to come off of pit road and gain some points to end stage 2, finishing in the top 10. But Kyle Larson winning that stage and now sweeping stage 1 and 2. Kyle Larson will be challenging once again the Cup regulars tomorrow under the lights at Bristol. Tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern. It all gets underway on NBCSN. Last time Larson swept both stages was in his last win at Daytona.
Well, the issue he's going to have now, you heard Jeff Burton mention it, and I mentioned that he's going to have to pass those cars with tires because now the last time Kyle Larson was on pit road at lap 74, he doesn't have enough fuel. You talk about the guys that can make it to the finish. This 42 car is definitely not one of them. And it's not only him. About the top 10 cars stayed out. So I expect to see 6, 8, 10 cars come to pit road right here. So cars like the 20 of Bell, Ty Dillon in the 3, Matt Tifft in the 2, Daniel Hemrick in the 21, who were just on pit road, they're going to stay on the racetrack and get that track position with now only 4 green flag laps on those tires.
But a long ways to go till the end of this race. 128 laps, 127 when they cross the start-finish line. And as we mentioned, race leader Kyle Larson coming to pit road. Parker.
And guys, as crew chief Mike Shipley told him to start thinking about what he needs to drive through traffic, as they'll have to do that in this run. They'll do 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. He also came across radio and told his crew chief Mike, I don't know what I need to be better on the starts and restarts. Dave?
Second place, Justin Allgaier hits pit road. He said it's all center. So the adjustments being made on the 7 car all have to do with giving Justin Allgaier the chance to turn the car better through the center of the corner.
Some stage points for Michael Annette, Dave, and a nice rally for this Travis Mack-led race team. Started 40th after a spin in qualifying. A little contact there. Car's been too free on this run. Going to be 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Kelly.
An accidental strategy call for the 23 car. It sounds like the team wanted him to pit under that last caution, but his spotter didn't hear that pit road was open, so he missed the opportunity. Chase says the car's not bad. 4 tires and Sunoco fuel.
And Larson able to edge Chase Elliott out and pit out, and Ryan Seay grabs a couple spots.
Can world-renowned artist Red Hongyu use the Chase mobile app to pay practically anyone at any bank? Yes, but this isn't just for anyone. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Welcome.
Hi there.
So what do you look for in a vehicle?
Sleek designs. Performance.
Dependability is top on my list.
Well, then here's some vehicles that deliver on that.
Whoa.
Oh, geez.
That's our truck.
It's our truck.
And they're our cars.
That's my Chevy.
Chevy's the only brand to have earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs 3 years in a row.
Awesome. I'm proud.
No, it's like a dynasty. It's impressive.
Introducing E-Trade Personalized Investments. Professionally managed portfolios customized to help meet your financial goals. You'll know what you're invested in and how it's performing, so you can spend more time floating about on your inflatable swan.
I'm Emma. I'm Claire. And we're the Salmon Sisters. This new Surface-Go is the perfect size. When we're on the boat, I don't have a big desk to use or a studio table to draw on. Having something you can slip in your bag and take with you is really great.
Every big dream has a starting line. It's here where kids take that first step, first swing, first leap forward. Start your journey today at sportsengine.com.
$99. Call now.
Under 125 laps to go in the Xfinity Series race from Bristol. This telecast presented by Shell Rotella. Out front, it's going to be Elliott Sadler. A lot of people will ask, how did he get up front?
Rick, a couple cautions before the end of a stage always gives the crew chiefs decision time, and so you basically have Elliott Sadler, Tyler Reddick, two Junior Motorsports cars coming at lap 146. They're going to work that fuel and try to make this their last pit stop. That's how they got track position. You saw a whole bunch come at lap 162. It was right before the end of the stage. So that basically is how you set the top 10. Right outside the top 10, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, all of the guys we have seen at the front, they came at 173. To make this even more complicated, we're supposed to run 300 laps, Rick, but guess what?
We're supposed to run.
Oh, but there we are, and you see that cell kind of brewing. Guys, every time I see rain brew and a night race, I expect the intensity to get turned way up.
And remember, lightning bad.
Lightning bad, yes.
Lightning bad. All right, it's Elliott Sadler and Tyler Reddick making up row one as we get ready to start the final stage at Bristol. Christopher Bell has made his way up and now challenging for the lead. Elliott Sadler will try to hold him off. Bell running right at the bottom of the racetrack. Sadler up high.
Oh, we got a car in the fence on the back straightaway. Cole Custer hard in the wall.
He still goes. He's still going. You see him up high there, right behind Brandon Jones.
Oh, still.
More contact.
Trying to figure this out, man. There was a lot of contact on the back straightaway.
Elliott Sadler able to hold off that challenge by Christopher Bell while this mayhem is happening behind them. Joey Logano in the 22 had a pit road violation, so he's battling back. He's up to 12.
Let's take a look at what happened with Cole on the back straightaway. The 19. Jones goes up in the corner, just loses the front off the corner and stays in the throttle, gets in the quarter panel. Hard contact with not only the wall, but the left rear tire of the 00.
And they're running 5th and 6th. You have to worry about that left rear tire. We've seen so many times the quarter panel get moved in on that left rear tire, and in a few laps it'll blow out. Way against the wall.
Back up front, battle for the lead. Elliott Sadler still holds it. Christopher Bell, a little bit more speed, a little more car here. Still trying him on the bottom.
Almost looked like Elliott got the wall right there, did he? The car shook off the corner.
Might have caught the fence just a little bit.
You see how hard it is to make that pass. Elliott Sadler's fighting hard. Elliott's got a quicker car, but Elliott's got the preferred lane.
Closing in on this, Matt Tiff. 9 car battling with Hemrick. Reddick, he was in the fence off of turn 2 the lap before.
Well, these guys are trying to go as best they can because look who's coming. The 42 of Kyle Larson. Oh, it's the 21 with a big slide off turn 4.
Bell did get Elliott Sadler, so now Christopher Bell out in front.
That moves Larson up to 5th, restarted 11th.
Larson methodically
up to 4th.
Yes, going one position at a time. He takes that spot away from the 9 of Tyler Reddick. He is up to 4th. Now he'll set his sights on Matt Tiff.
Christopher Bell, he's taking the lead from Elliott Sadler up front.
Chase Elliott right in front of Tyler Reddick.
You guys, hey Jeff, these guys are like kind of defining what's an appropriate slide job. I mean, the 42 makes it look simple. The 23 right there, though, he needed a little help from the 9 to make that work.
You said it, rain. You know, they're hearing it. This rain's close. You got to go, and you've seen the intensity level pick up.
Allgaier fighting his way, trying to get back up toward the front. He's running 8th. Ty Dillon goes by in the 3. Tyler Reddick in the outside in the 9 as we ride on the helmet cam of Justin Allgaier. He's using the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get by.
3 wide here. Ty Dillon gave him a little bit of a break there and lifted to make sure they didn't wreck. That would have been a wreck. These guys just can't commit to making that slide job. Just driving in the corner, driving up in front of the 9 of Reddick to get that, get clear and make that pass, forcing Reddick to lift. That's what you have to do almost in this situation. You're just going to sit there on the inside fighting for that position.
Allgaier's got to get far enough to the 9, but he got so loose off of 4 right there, he wasn't able to carry that momentum and get next to him. But if you ever enter the corner.
And right here, if he can just drive in there.
Still not quite there. Going to try to use the slower cars.
Catching lap traffic.
3 wide, Bristol.
Lap traffic sometimes gives you the opportunity to take advantage of guys. There you see Logano driving up into this conversation. He's coming back from that penalty.
Allgaier's got him now. He's got it far enough on him. He can carry that speed into the corner, roll the center. Now he should be able to get him off, but he's not. Reddick's fighting back, but he's going to kind of clear himself to get to the 74 car and get on the outside of him.
Reddick's struggling in that outside line. You just have to take advantage of guys like that when you get in that position that Allgaier was in.
And now the battle, you can see Joey Logano and Ty Dillon. The battle is to the 9 car, really. If Joey can get past the 9 car, he's going to be in great shape. If he can't, then the 21 of Hemrick might get by him. Just so hard to make that middle work, the bottom work. You can drive in on corner entry, and you get a good run, then you roll through the middle, but it's just hard to carry the speed on exit the guys in the top 2 carry.
Well, we're watching this battle. Kyle Larson has drove all the way to 2nd place, chasing down our leader, Christopher Bell. He's running about a tenth faster a lap. There you see the gap between the two.
And that didn't take long, did it? I mean, he rolled through the field.
It's only 4 laps better tires that Kyle Larson has. That shouldn't be that big of a difference. Kyle Larson certainly has an amazing car.
And we've run 21 laps, and you've driven from 11th up to 2nd.
He's a little loose right there. Hanging it out in that 3rd and 4th corner. Parker.
Guys, you see Ryan Trex on pit road right there. He was running as high as in the top 10 and then dropped like a rock about 20 laps ago. He came across radio and said he lost his power steering, and then just a lap ago he said, guys, I've got to come in. I can't take it anymore. I can't handle this thing. And then we talk about how physical this place is. Imagine trying to get around here without power steering this day and age. Almost impossible.
Yeah, Parker, it's not like it used to be where they set the front end for not having power steering. So you hear people say, well, they didn't used to have power steering. Yeah, well, they set the front end so you could turn the car. With these cars, they're set to have the power steering. And when you don't have it, you're in big trouble. And you definitely couldn't race in this kind of traffic that these guys are having to deal with.
Yeah, I don't believe that anybody could run without power steering with the current cars and the current configuration of the front geometry. It's a battle for the lead. Larson trying to get around this lap traffic. However these guys can get through there.
Well,
looks like Larson's going to make the move.
Going to get on the bottom.
It's not over yet, but he had to do that to stay in this. He had to stay in there. Oh, there he goes. He's going to clear him right here. Christopher Bell not able to get around the 35.
More so this racetrack than anywhere we go, lap traffic impacts how you can win this race or lose this race. We saw it last night in a truck race. It got crazy late. The modified race got crazy.
You got to watch, as you're closing in on these guys, where they are running. So all right, if he's going to run the high side, I got to be ready to make that pass at their opportune time so it doesn't delay me, hold me up, cost me a lot of time.
So now Bell, he's going to have to see where Larson is beating him to see how, what he can do as a driver. I don't think at this point, Steve, I don't think they're going to be able to pit and make any changes to the car. I just think Bell's going to have to see what he can do different from a driving style standpoint to try to pick up some speed.
He won stage 1, he won stage 2, now back out front at Bristol. He has the freshest tires as well. Kyle Larson, it's going to be hard to get by him, but Christopher Bell right there as we go NASCAR nonstop.
Chuck Norris? Can you sign my Tacoma?
I'll be glad to.
From the fist of a legend rises a new action star. A hero who's there to save the day and the night. So fearless, so rugged, he's tough as Chuck.
You replaced me with a truck?
Toyota, let's go places.
Mr. Elliott, what's your Wi-Fi password?
Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi's ordinary. Basic. Do I look basic? Nope. Which is why I have Xfinity X5. It's super fast, and you can control every device in the house. Let's basement. And thanks to these X5 pods, the signal reaches down here, too. So, Sophie, I have an X5 password. And it's Datitude.
Simple, easy, awesome. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
This is more than just a truck. To her, it's a classroom where she'll learn lessons they don't teach in school, like hard work and patience, and where one day she'll teach her kids. Your truck is more than just a truck, and that's why it deserves more than just any oil. Shell Rotella, the engine oil that works as hard as you.
Are you ready to take your Wi-Fi to the next level? Then you need Xfinity X5, a more powerful way to stay connected. It gives you super fast speeds for all your devices, provides the most Wi-Fi coverage for your home, and lets you control your network with the X5 app. It's the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. Xfinity X5. Simple, easy, awesome.
Fans, the way you show your loyalty to your drivers, you can grab t-shirts, cool jackets, hats, die-cast. That's all at the NASCAR shop. Just visit NASCAR.com/shop for all your favorite drivers' gear. And right now, a great battle that you have not missed one lap of. Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. These two have not been able to separate themselves.
This is incredible. This view is incredible. Look how close he's getting to the wall with the right rear quarter panel.
We've seen Larson so many times in these races go try to find a little speed, and he finds a wall, so you can see he's pushing it. I think when he got by Bell, he thought he was going to drive away from him, but Bell has a different idea.
I'm so surprised in that, too, because Bell's running shallow into the corner.
And look at the mess in front of him. Like, they're too wide. What do I do? Where do I go?
They come up on that slower lap car of Jones, and they have to go low. He's not going to run low. He's not going to move out of the way.
Oh, Larson knew he had to get on the inside. Bell was hoping he wouldn't. He could get side by side and beat him to the four.
That 42 car, man, is jawed out.
Yeah.
Meaning
awesome. the left rear quarter panel is. Look at the left rear quarter panel, how far off the bottom of the racetrack it is compared to the left front.
Looks like it's so loose. Hung out. Driving it.
Wow. Listen to the throttle on Bell's car. How early he's in the throttle.
These guys love racing each other. They competed against each other in the Chili Bowl this year. Oh, he missed the bottom a little bit. Got up out of the bottom groove. Going to cost him a ton of time.
When you switch switch grooves and go to the bottom, you have to lift so much earlier than you do going to the top. So easy to miss it.
If you commit to the bottom and get out of that bottom groove, though, too, you lose a lot of time. But you just didn't.
Trouble.
These guys love to race each other. Love to beat each other. Have so much respect for each other. This is fun for. You got a little bobble there. This is fun for all of us to watch.
I was going to say, this is incredible car control we're seeing out of both of these drivers.
See him try to get everything he can, and you're seeing him go over that line, from time to time. And it shows you how great these drivers are, how talented they are.
And also, as you watch him, put yourself in a driver's seat and think about what he's going through. You're doing 16-second laps. You're making decisions, split-second decisions. I mean, guy's going to run me in the wall, right? But you can't lift. Things happen so quickly here.
Larson out in front running in that second spot, though. Christopher Bell has really broke up a group of drivers that have tried to separate themselves. And I want to take a look at tonight's Toyota driver update. Christopher Bell, as I mentioned, up there in the second spot. Started second, running second. He has been out and led laps today. He's led 18 laps this race. The farthest he's been from the lead has been 13.
They thought he was going to gain a little bit on Larson right there. Larson got in lap traffic, but then they got too wide in front of Bell, and everything he thought he was going to gain, he gave up.
Yeah, really, when they're catching this much lap traffic, it comes down to who can get through it the quickest. It's cost Bell quite a bit of time. Larson's car seems to be able to go everywhere he wants to go. He runs the bottom well.
And it's pretty clear that Larson's got 3 more cars in front of him. These 3, after that, it's pretty clear if he can get in front of these guys, it's going to open up for him.
What's amazing is we just saw Larson pass the 39 of Ryan Sieg, and you can kind of see the haves and have-nots there. Ryan Sieg, that team has 4 people that work in the garage on the 39 team. We're back in the shop. And Cowboy Starlin said 2 of them are truck drivers. So you got to think, all right, so 2 of the 4 guys are truck drivers that work on this 39 team. Those guys are working their tails off, and a great performance out of Ryan Sieg, week in and week out. Right now, he just went a lap down, running in the 13th position.
Which is an excellent run for a team like that. Anytime those guys can finish in the top 15. Look at those guys. Larson, Bell, both sideways off of turn 2, using every bit of that racetrack. You got to run every lap. You run 10/10s. Every lap you run 100%. Right on the edge.
All right, let's go through the field. Brought to you by Harney's.
And guys, I could watch Kyle Larson drive all day as you're commenting how loose that car looks. Here's the crazy thing. They made no adjustments on that car all night, and he's dominating this race. The only issue he's had where the brakes have gotten too cold because he's not using them all. That's how good that car's handling, Dave.
Parker, Christopher Bell was told the 42 will fade. He'll come back to you. But one thing, you've got to keep that right rear on the car. Stop sliding it. You'll need it. Kelly?
Chase Elliott, one of a handful of drivers that will race the 23 this year, including his dad, Hall of Famer Bill Elliott, that will get behind the wheel next week. As a result, this team doesn't care about stage points or season points. They're just out to collect trophies. Chase Elliott running 3rd and can see the leaders, Dave.
Matt Tift running 4th is not a surprise to Randall Burnett, his crew chief. He told me we practiced horrible in the spring, ran great until we crashed. They practiced horrible yesterday. They've been running great today. As for Justin Allgaier, he'd like to get one more adjustment on that 7 car. Hasn't been right where he needs it to be. And remember, last stop, they lost time on pit road. Elliott Sadler was the first in this group to pit. He hit pit road on lap 146. By my calculations, he should be able to make it to the end, but he's got the oldest tires, Kelly.
Behind him is that 3 of Ty Dillon. He says this is his favorite racetrack. He says it reminds him of a dirt track when he runs up top, and his specialty, maneuvering around and working through traffic. He's done a nice job of it today. Behind him at 8 is Joey Logano. I asked him why he chooses to run the Xfinity race here at Bristol. He said because it's a track that is always evolving. He thinks he can learn something tonight that will help him tomorrow night. He said, besides that, this is one bad you-know-what racetrack. And running at 9 behind him is Tyler Reddick in that 9 car, and this is a team that could desperately use a good finish. They've had a really frustrating couple of months this season. His crew chief, Dave Ellen's, telling me their priority is just to finish this race. Marty?
Kelly, I love the quote from Daniel Hemrick earlier this week. He said, the hustle and grind it takes to run well here at Bristol, that fits my style. In fact, it fits the story of my entire career. And he's a great example of how quickly you can lose track position at Bristol. He was running 6th when this restart happened, slipped up in turn 4. He has been in 10th since then and has not been able to make his way forward, Rick.
Yeah, Marty, and there's only one car behind him that's on the lead lap, and that's Cole Custer running in 11th. Out front, Kyle Larson has a 1-second lead as we go NASCAR nonstop.
We know that growing up means passing it down. We know that hunting actually helps our nation's wildlife grow stronger. We know that this isn't just what we do, it's who we are. We know the great outdoors, we love the great outdoors. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's bring you the Fall Hunting Classic with huge savings. like this Cuddy-Back Black Flash game camera for only $75, and these Keen men's waterproof hiking boots for under $90.
Ta-ta-ta-ta.
What are you doing?
I'm enjoying the American Classical.
It's the American Classic All-American Dog and Tots for $2.99.
I'm sorry, the All-American Dog and
Tots. Give me that.
Choose a chili cheese coney or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger with Tots for just $2.99.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
You ready for this, Junior?
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
No pressure. That's just my favorite boat.
Boom. Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. And get our best deal of the summer. 0% financing for 60 months on F-150. Get 0% financing for 60 months, plus $2,800 bonus cash on a 2018 F-150 XLT equipped with 2.7-liter EcoBoost.
I relate to the berries in these real fruit berry shakes because they're small but powerful. I relate to the ice cream because it's rich and has an amazing singing voice. Got it. Oh.
Real ice cream and berries. New real fruit berry shakes. Get them half price after 8 p.m. for a limited time.
And here it comes. The closer, Kevin Harvick, puts on a clinic. Austin Dillon wins. A very emotional victory. There's the ace. Bubba Wallace in second. Here's Kyle going to take a bow. Big contact. Larson to the bottom of the track. Here comes the 18. He puts the ball back.
If you don't like that kind of racing, don't even watch.
Martin Truex Jr., the champ, is back in victory lane. How fitting. How special. For the first time, Chase Elliott wins.
I hope all my buddies back home are ready to get rowdy tonight because it's going to be a good one.
The Bristol Night Race is one of the coolest races you can win, and peaking at the right time, to me, it is key.
Kick off your day with a London derby. With new managers in charge, it's a new chapter of a historic rivalry.
And the score!
All rise for Premier League mornings. Chelsea, Arsenal, tomorrow on NBC.
Battle for the lead continuing. Christopher Bell has reeled in the 42 of Kyle Larson. That's the gap for one right now.
You saw Kyle Larson make a little contact with the wall a few laps ago. Christopher Bell's putting a lot of pressure on him. That's what he needs to do. Kyle Larson talked about he's made mistakes in this race, not been able to win it. Put him in a position where he's got to drive that car harder than he wants to.
Yeah, as the rubber builds up on this racetrack, it changes. And it changes the balance of the car, and it looks like it's become an issue for the 42.
And that's how close it is for the lead right now. Larson on the high side. Christopher Bell down low.
Be careful, he'll make the mistake.
You hear it.
Look at this
Keep
in
the
front of
pressure
him.
on.
This is going to be interesting. Who can get through this mess that's in front of him? The 00, he's going to be racing to stay in the lead lap. He's not going to just move over.
Cole Custer currently running 11th, trying to stay on the lead lap.
So far, Larson's been the guy that's been able to get through lap traffic better, and it appears right now it's kind of calmed this battle down just as he's starting to cut through this traffic. A little bit better than Christopher Bell. Right here, you said it. That 00 is not going to lay over. It's going to make it a challenge for Larson. This is where Christopher Bell
into the wall of 40. Chad Fincham gets into the wall. Caution comes out. That means restart.
Maybe a pit stop.
Oh, crew chief chiming in. Strategy coming into play.
There's only 11 cars in the lead lap and at least 80 laps on your tires for everybody in the top 10. So it would be really hard for me to be one of these cars in the top 10.
I'm fine.
That's good to hear.
That is great to hear. It's
Chad Fincham.
Man, he has blown both hood flaps. You see the tether on the hood flap, just trying to keep it connected so it doesn't get away, get near fans.
90 blew a tire in front of us, and I had nowhere to go. The one was passing us. Blocked the brakes up, spun around, hit the inside wall, killed the right front.
Oh, wow.
Knoxville, hometown for Fincham, former East winner here at Bristol.
We heard him say that 90 blew a tire in front of him.
Yeah, he's right. Well, 90 got up in the dirt a little bit. Did not blow a tire, but definitely slowed down.
Just didn't expect him to be going that slow when he got to him.
I wonder if those hood flaps were properly installed. Those things came out pretty easily.
I was going to say, they didn't open. They just popped out. Come out. Like emergency exits here.
Yeah.
And bye-bye.
That's a big impact.
That is a hard shot.
Huge.
Yeah, he definitely had closed the gap a little too quickly there.
Well, he's racing that guy underneath him, and he's got his eye on him and in the middle of the corner, and he comes off the corner. Next thing you know, there's somebody slow in front of you. And a wreck that doesn't happen many places other than this racetrack. Things happen that quickly.
All right, Rick, so you have the 42 of Larson, Bell, Chase Elliott, Allgaier, Tiff, Sadler, Ty Dillon, Logano, Hemrick, Reddick, and Custer. That's it. 11 cars on the lead lap. 40 to go. About 80 laps on their tires. We know track position matters because we saw Elliott Sadler keep it for a little while. We also know new tires in a great car matter because the 42 drove back up to the field. So as the cars come around turn one right here, we'll see who takes the left-hand turn to come to pit road, if anyone.
And down there is the 42. The 20 is going to follow him down there also. Parker.
Guys, Kyle Larson's going to pit out of the lead. He told them he was building loose, but they said this is only going to be about a 38-lap run. So if you don't need any adjustments, we're not going to make them. 4 Goodyear tires and a splash of gas on the 42 car. It looks like they will not be making those adjustments, Dave.
From second place, Christopher Bell comes down for 4 tires. He said it was just a little bit free as it fires off, and then it stayed that way. Marty?
Daniel Hemrick said it was like a light switch when it got loose off turn 4 that one time and lost all those spots. It never came back. He said, I don't know, but the car's gone extremely free. So Danny Stockman's going to make an air pressure adjustment here. And also you'll see them intentionally not get it full of fuel because they want very little fuel to help tighten up that car, Kelly.
Chase Elliott in that 23 said he was pretty good running around the bottom, but he got a little bit snug up on that top line. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment for this short run. 4 tires and fuel.
And the race off pit road, Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott grabbing a spot, taking it away from Christopher Bell.
I put a spell on you. Yeah, because you're mine.
With Chase ATMs, Serena can now grab cash on the go, all with the tap of her phone.
The things you do.
No card, no problem. Life lived Serena's way. Chase, make more of what's yours.
We had a vacation that kind of put us in a hole.
I had a little incident with a moped in Bermuda.
Oh.
Even with insurance, we had to dip into our 401k, and it set us back a little bit.
Sometimes you don't have a choice, but it doesn't mean you guys can't get back on track.
Great.
Yeah.
No judgment, just guidance. TD Ameritrade.
I'm Emma. I'm Claire. And we're the Salmon Sisters. We run our business from the boat. It's a really small space. This new surface goes the perfect size. I love having something that I can hold in my hand. We're proud of this way of life. We're proud of the work we're doing.
Go, baby, go, go.
Every big dream has a starting line. It's here where kids take that first step, first swing, first leap forward. Start your journey today at sportsengine.com.
Just 36 laps to go in the Xfinity Series racing from Bristol. Telecast presented by Shell Rotella. And 3 starts. Always exciting. Now Kyle Larson has the opportunity to choose the inside or outside line, and I would guess he's going to choose that line that would put him right up there against the wall.
You would assume, but
and look at this.
Well, so last night, guys, we watched the truck race from here, and it seemed like the line, even though the top was decent, on the restarts it seemed a little inconsistent which line you wanted to be in.
Well, you can see when we were showing him the pit road. Watch Ty Dillon. He puts the brakes on. Elliott puts the brakes on. Everybody just stops because they're trying to get the outside lane. And
yeah, they're getting information from the spotters.
Right. Ty Dillon slowed down enough, and now he's still in the inside lane. So probably it didn't work out the way he wanted.
And is Elliott Sadler.
So by our scoring, it's Larson, Elliott, Allgaier, Bell, Ty Dillon, Logano, Sadler, Tiff, Hemrick, Custer, the top 10. Dave.
How relaxed is driver 20? Listen.
Jason, this is pretty fun right here, man.
Looks like it. It looks like it. I'm excited for you.
We're excited too, Rick.
That's right. Coming up on 34 to go. Kyle Larson has chosen the outside line. On the inside, Chase Elliott. Christopher Bell, Justin Allgaier making up road 2. Green flag back in the air.
Allgaier has nailed these restarts tonight.
Yeah, so is Larson. I mean, Larson's been clear into turn 1 on every restart.
Larson trying to pull away, separate himself from the pack. Allgaier makes his way up to second. Christopher Bell, who is challenging Larson, has fallen back to the 4th spot. Chase Elliott in that yellow. Ollie's Spark and Outlet, number 23, running in the 3rd position.
Hard for Christopher Bell to get by both of these cars to get back to Larson. I mean, really, what he wants right now is a caution. He would love to get a caution without him being in it and restarting that outside lane.
Absolutely. It's a battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th. On the right. Battle for 3rd, 4th on the left. The top groove is just so good at this point in the race. The bottom's gone away. Everybody's making time up high, and it's just hard to pass down there on the bottom. Everybody's came in, got new tires. Everybody's running qualifying laps right now, Jeff.
Yeah, the tires are so good right now, not many people are going to make mistakes. It's hard to take advantage of them. You see Ty Dillon way up the racetrack, put Custer in the wall, really. Ran him all the way up.
Custer again gets into the wall, this time a little bit of help.
That's what happens. I mean, you get run out of patience, and you have to take advantage of guys. And that's what Ty Dillon did. Cole Custer obviously not happy about it, I'm sure. But that's a box kind of you're put in when it's a one-groove racetrack like this. You got to take advantage of people. Use them up a little bit. Let's take a look and see how that all happened.
Ty driving in, almost trying to slide job him, and didn't clear him. See, he drives in the corner real deep, carrying more speed than he can to keep the car down, but Cole's there. Just runs him in the wall. Slide job's cool when it works.
Fight for 3rd, continuing. Christopher Bell all over the back bumper now of Chase Elliott, but Elliott holding on to that spot.
Chase had a fast car, so not quite as good as Bell, and you can see Bell putting the pressure on him, but Joey Logano's working his way into this. And Joey has such a unique line here. Watch him turn down in the center and run low on exit. Even with that lap car there. 3's out of the groove in the fence.
Got a tire down.
A little sideways there, got into the wall.
He's got a right rear down, I believe, probably from that contact.
Yep.
With the 00 Cole Custer.
So Ty Dillon's going to try to get down to the bottom of the racetrack if he can so that he doesn't cause a caution.
It's hard to get to the bottom. It's hard to find a clear place to go.
Here's another slide job that didn't quite work out. Contact with his teammate. Tiff. More contact. That's all it takes. Right rear tire's flat.
And up into the wall. Everyone trying to get around him. Another teammate there in 21. Hemrick already had damage to the left front, but he tries to avoid Dillon as Dillon goes up into the wall and now will finally make it to pit road.
Ty's had a rough year in the Cup car, really just trying to make something happen.
Now Chase Elliott has chased down the 7.
Yeah, he's drove away from Christopher Bell. See how he's done it. He's running a lower line. He's went to the bottom of the racetrack, found some speed.
While this is going on, Larson's 2.5 seconds away. Nothing's changed up front with him.
A little different line for Allgaier, trying to stay in front of Chase Elliott. Here comes Logano as well, as he's running back bumper now of the 20 of Christopher Bell. So Bell, after being really in contention to win this race when he was battling with Larson, after the pit stop has fallen back and now running 4th, but hanging on to run 4th. The battle for 2nd, though, heats up.
Elliott's back to the top. Look at the run he gets running that top. He went to the bottom for a little bit. Didn't see any results down there. Back to the top. He's going to have a great run off of turn 2.
Allgaier's going to have to go to the top right here. He cannot run the bottom with that run coming. That's what he did. Now he just has to beat him to the next corner. Should have the preferred lane here.
Now Christopher Bell's going to come in and fill that void if Chase Elliott can't. Chase will clear.
Chase has a good car right now. You said it a little bit ago. He had driven away from Bell.
The bottom seems to work really good at 1 and 2. So if you can't get on a position on the car, it is still an option to be able to make a pass down there. You see Allgaier being able to run up the inside of Chase Elliott in 1 and 2 using the bottom. Look at here.
And that's where lap traffic comes into play. Christopher Bell has to check up hard. But now the battle will continue between the 20 and the 7. Remember, you're running for a regular season championship. Here. Those two are fighting for every point. Chase Elliott now working past some of the lap traffic. He's right on the back bumper again of Justin Allgaier.
Justin Reed takes that position as they came up on lap traffic, and Justin was on the bottom. Lap traffic was in the way up high.
13 to go, man. Can't give up anything. Can't lift now.
Just when you think one of these guys has found a line that's quick, they get by one another, but they can't drive away.
It's interesting. Look at the different lines. See Allgaier on the bottom, Elliott up top. Wow, that's close.
Christopher Bell trying to find a way around Elliott. Elliott trying to find a way around Allgaier.
That's discipline right there, to be committed to the bottom of one corner and the top of another. Because it takes such a different challenge running the high side. So many different ways to drive the corner, throttle inputs, patience. So to run these two completely different lines at each end of the racetrack really takes some discipline. Running the top usually at most racetracks takes a couple laps to sort of figure it out. You don't have that here. You have to go up there and commit. Look at Joey Logano.
Jumped on the inside. Bell tried to block him. He's trying to beat him to the lap car.
Took the letters off the inside, off that left rear tire of the 20 car.
There's going to be Bell 3 wide coming off the corner.
3 wide. Bell getting squeezed back now as Logano on the inside, trying to take that spot away. Bell stays high.
Trying to work around lap car David Starr. Caused that position to change. I think Logano's got a little speed here. He's looked better, and he's looked all night long.
Yeah, Bell definitely does not have the speed he had before that caution. Look at run Larson down. I thought he had his best car at that point. Doesn't have it now. Look at him drive in the corner.
Well, that's that line Logano has. He'll go in high and stop the center of the corner, turn and run off the bottom. You have to give up a little speed in the center, but you get such a great run off the bottom that continues down the front straightaway.
While all that's going on the left side of your screen, 3.2 seconds, the lead for Kyle Larson. 4 laps of racing to go for Larson.
Great battle for third. Chase Elliott's got an issue.
He's got a problem.
Slow on the track now. The 23 of Chase Elliott, not up to speed.
He thinks he has a loose wheel. He thinks it's the left front on the 23, a loose wheel.
And so he has definitely stepped off the pace, and he starts to fall back now with just under 3 laps to go from Bristol. Allgaier hanging on to second. Then it's 1.7 seconds back to Joey Logano, then Christopher Bell right on Logano's back bumper.
Hemrick spinning, Hemrick in the wall.
And the 21 in the wall brings the caution out before the white flag.
And guys, he had a right rear going down for a while or a loose right rear wheel. They had a big debate about whether or not to come to pit road, but with just 3 laps left, they decided to stay out, and this is the result.
The result now will be overtime. And that means that Kyle Larson is going to have to hold. Larson will have to hold off Justin Allgaier on the restart. And Allgaier has been great on restarts.
That's right. That's a great point, Rick. This guy right here has launched well all night long, and he likes the bottom. So I can back guarantee you Larson's going to give him the bottom. And if Allgaier can get a great launch like he's done, he'll have a shot.
So strategy-wise, you wouldn't take away the preferred line when you're the control car? Well, the guy you're racing against?
You can't give somebody the outside. I mean, you got to take the outside. That's the best lane. I just don't think you can give that up.
I think Larson would assume the outside's his preferred line.
Yeah.
Behind them, though, Christopher Bell's going to line up 4th. exactly where he wants to be.
Well, I think the outside is definitely the lane as long as you launch like Larson has all night. And not even clear, but a good head start into turn one. I would hate to drive into there door to door and give that guy on the inside a chance to run me up. You mentioned how narrow that top groove is. If someone wants to throw one of those big slide jobs that don't quite clear, it wouldn't be popular, but it may earn you the win.
Algar was running the bottom of the racetrack on both ends, and we've seen that bottom groove of 1 and 2 be competitive. Do you think if he can get a good restart, be door to door into turn one, whether he can make this a race? Let's look at some of the
Yeah, we talked about Algar and how good the restarts are. Well, early in the race, he showed us that he's going to make stuff happen, and he's launched well, and he's been very aggressive into the corner. So right here, he's got great speed, but hey, man, I'm like 3 wide. I mean, it's not something you normally see at Bristol. Normally, you just don't make that move. So you can expect Algar to be very aggressive on this restart. And I think he has nothing to lose. He has 3 wins already this year, so those points are going to go to the playoffs. Getting another win would be huge for him, Dave.
And Jeff, remember last week at Mid-Ohio, he had a fast race car. They had good strategy, and they had a very fortuitous caution. Tonight, fast race car, good strategy, and a very fortuitous caution.
So, Dave, are you predicting that he wins the race?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying 2 in a row could look pretty equal in terms of how he got there.
I was getting ready to say, Dave, I was when you said it was a lucky caution, we won't know that until the race is over.
That's right.
Because many times here at Bristol, I thought, man, I got a lucky break, and next thing I know, I'm in the infield care center.
Not a lucky break at all.
It's really going to come down to how good a launch Larson gets. What Larson does to try to give himself the advantage on throttling up his car and getting the tires to lock up, get a hold of the racetrack, not spin the tires. What can he do to put the inside line or the guy starting on the inside line at a disadvantage?
And that's what they're doing right here. You see them swerving and weaving and giving throttle to it, spinning the rear tires, getting those tires ready to launch. It's so important to have those rear tires hooked up.
Decision made. Larson's going to go on the outside. Allgaier on the inside.
Just about every restart, Larson has been clear of the inside line before they get to turn one. I mean, it's just been so hard for that inside line to get decent starts, decent grip on the throttle.
If you're Logano, you're hoping the 7 of Algar can get a great launch, and now you know he's going to be door-to-door in the 42, maybe run him at the racetrack, leave the bottom open for you. That's really what you're hoping for right now if you're Logano.
Larson's a control car, which means when he comes into the restart zone, he gets to determine when they go. So he has that opportunity, but the lights come back on the pace car, so they'll go around again. Hemrick.
He is stuck, Rick. He can't turn the car to the right, and he's trying to get on pit road, and every time he backs up a little bit, tries to turn it so he can get to their pit stall, they just can't do it, so they're going to have to push Daniel Hemrick behind the wall, and Danny Stockman not very happy. He's saying on the radio, all of that for a loose right rear wheel.
You saw Hemrick take the steering wheel off and start to unstrap from the 21. Frustrated that it ends this way. Justin Allgaier is yet to lead. He led only the final lap in 2 of his 8 wins already. This is all the way back in 2010 here at Bristol when he was able to pass Brad Keselowski for the win. All smiles for Allgaier.
I almost forget this part of his career. Don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, he was tagged by Penske to be one of their future drivers, and he had a great career with them as an Xfinity driver for whatever reason.
Jeff Green overheating in the 38. See the steam at the base of the windshield.
Dale, you mentioned Justin Allgaier, and what comes to mind is, this is the series, right, where names are made. And we talk so much about some of these young drivers, but it's also a place where sometimes drivers go back and almost revamp their career. We see Elliott Sadler has made a great career in Xfinity. But with the year Justin Allgaier is having, this is a career year. You have to ask yourself, does this mean He's on to great things at the Xfinity level with movement at the Cup. Is he going to end up in the You just never know. I mean, he is really redefining, I think is a great way to put it. He's redefining who he is as a race car driver. And look at the season. 3 wins. How about the laps led? Over 500 laps led. That's putting yourself positioned time and time again. I know Dave said not lucky, but just fortunate timing of the yellows, but you still have to be there. And he's continuing to put himself there in these races.
So Justin Allgaier, and he is waiting for the restart. While we wait for the restart, let's listen in on Logano's radio.
Hey, just remember what that 7 did to you.
Oh, that's right.
So when you forget, there's other people there to remind you.
Oh,
just
that's
to be
right.
clear.
Let me check the scorecard real quick. Oh, yeah, you got one.
Yeah, many times they say drivers never forget. Well, many times it's the crew members that remind the driver to never forget.
And just so you remember, that was more or less a slide job that Justin Allgaier slid in front of the 22, and the 22 really checked up a little bit to give him the room to get up there. So that's what they're reminding him of.
So, guys, so Kyle Larson, he's kind of redefining the slide job and making it work. What's now acceptable on this front row? If the 7 gets a launch and he fires it to the bottom, knowing he's coming up the racetrack, Jeff, you and I have this conversation, right? What is, quote, approved in this lineup? What's an approved pass?
Well, Tony Stewart used to say, if you block me, I'm going to wreck you. Well, I got to believe, I'm sorry, when somebody drives up and pulls up in front of you and you got to slow down big time to keep from hitting them, they're blocking you. So in my world, a slide job is one thing, but just driving up in front of you, intentionally making you stop, that puts that person in jeopardy to get knocked out of the way, in my opinion.
They have to get all the way back around and the white flag to make this an official overtime. And if they get to the white flag, then the next flag will end the race. But if they don't get to the white flag, they'll try it again. Larson on the outside, Allgaier on the inside.
Oh, it's a pretty good restart for the inside line. Christopher Bell shoving Larson into the corner.
Credit won overtime. Allgaier on the inside, fighting for the lead as they go down the backstretch. Drives it down on the inside. They're door to door as they come out. White flag in the air one more time around. Larson has cleared him. Allgaier, look at his hands. Fighting for second, but Christopher Bell makes the move. He takes second away. Allgaier all the way up high. Larson comes out. He'll win at Bristol. Finally win at Bristol.
How about Cole Custer for where did he come from?
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Way to end the 2018 season with you. It's been an honor to work with you this year. And thanks a lot, Chip. Thanks all you guys on this Xfinity team. It's been fun.
It's the last race for the Cup regulars.
A little dirt track in there out of Kyle Larson. Spinning those back rear tires as he was going through the turn. Having some fun now. I said the first win for Kyle Larson at Bristol. That's right. He has quite a few second place finishes. Last win in the Xfinity Series came in Daytona in July for Kyle Larson. And he did the same thing. Swept the stages and got the win. He gets stage 1 and stage 2 wins here and then goes on to claim the checkered flag. Little Alan Kulwicki action here. Backwards victory lap.
Yeah, we're talking about a driver with real potential to do the sweep.
Won the pole for the Cup race tomorrow. Maybe he will bring the broom out. He'll head up to the very unique victory lane. This racetrack, to get to victory lane, you have to go to the second story. The building down in turn 3. an impressive performance. He had to fight for this one. Christopher Bell, toward the end of the prescribed distance, gave him all he could handle. And then on the restart, Allgaier fought him very hard. And then in the end, it was once again Christopher Bell that was able to get by Allgaier and take second. Kyle Larson once again parks it. But this is the first time he's parked it in Bristol. Kelly.
Kyle Larson taking his time to celebrate the win here at Bristol on a Friday night. 3 times runner-up. What's it like to finally be victorious here at Bristol?
It feels really good. I wish Kyle Bushman had his troubles so I could have raced him, but it still feels really, really cool to win a race here finally at Bristol. I've been close so many times. This is my best racetrack by far, I feel like, this and Homestead. So it was cool to win. A really good Xfinity crowd up there. Can't thank all you guys enough. Had DC Solar on the car and got them a win. So if we can get them another win tomorrow night, that'd be pretty special as well. But just really exciting. I've been so close so many times. And I thought Bell was going to steal this run from me a few times throughout that race. He was really good. Him and I have very similar driving styles, so I knew, he'd be another one that Kyle and I would have to beat. So he showed that for sure. And we had the yellow there 2 to go, and I was like, man, again, I'm going to lose one here late. But we're able to get an average restart and get the win. So just really excited and can't wait for tomorrow.
Hey, you mentioned these fans who are now sticking it out as the rain has just started to fall. What do you want to say to them?
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys are the greatest. Always love coming to Bristol. The atmosphere here is amazing, and you fans make it what it is. So can't thank you enough, and can't wait to see this place packed tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.